Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a few moments to become present. Find a nice, comfortable seated position on a pillow, which is what I'm on, or a block, a blanket, towel, something that allows you to sit nice and tall with your spine and the back of your neck reaching nice and straight up to the sky. Opening up your chest and opening up your diaphragm and opening up your heart. Let's gently close our eyes and soften our thoughts. Slow down the pace of the last week. It's been busy for you. Just kind of come and be peaceful for a moment. Soften our eyes. Soften our shoulders. And soften our heart. Observe your breath. Excuse me. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or a phrase to have with you on your mat, perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention I'd like to talk about is Samadhi, and that Samadhi is the eighth and final limb of yoga, according to Patanjali, who created those. So Samadhi is usually referred to as the state of enlightenment. Sama is Sanskrit, meaning equal, and di is Sanskrit, meaning to see. So Samadhi is the ability to see equally. You end up losing the duality of life as we know it, the us versus them or it, and become one. The journey from dhyana, which is meditation, to samadhi, meditation also being the seventh limb of yoga, to samadhi, the eighth limb, is when the mind-body slips away and you are aware of the essence and not the details. We see or perhaps feel the essence and pure spirit of ourselves, of everyone, and of everything. We are equal and we are one. So for this morning's meditation, we'll take a few minutes, and I'd like you to focus on the word namaste. We use namaste as a greeting, coming and going, and it acknowledges the divine spark or spirit in each of us. So when I say namaste to you, I translate it, and it's been translated as my spirit recognizes your spirit, bringing us to an equal status. I'm looking only at your spirit. It doesn't have a gender, it doesn't have a race, it doesn't have any social barriers in it. It's my spirit looking at your spirit. And often with Namaste comes the mudra Anjali, which is prayer pose. It's a gesture that means love, respect, and equality. So it's often done with palms together at the heart, or palms together with the thumb at the third eye. And the thumb at the heart is kind of touching your chest bone here. So we're going to just take a few minutes, and you can either have your hands in Anjali Mudra at the heart or at the third eye, and just honor spirit of yourself, honor spirit of other people, and maybe send that honoring of spirits out into the world. We'll just take a few minutes to do that, and I'll meet you on the mat. You may release from your meditation, and we'll start our asana practice. So we'll start with a few seated sun breaths and chest openers. And one of my favorite breathing techniques, pranayama, is Samadhi, and it's that same sama that's in Samadhi, meaning equal. So in Samadhi, it's equal length breathing. And so we're trying, and it's not an exact science, but just having our flow of breath being equal on the inhale and on the exhale. So bringing our fingertips to the sides, just inhale up. And exhale down. Nice big long breaths. Inhale, open the hands. And exhale, close. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhale up. Bringing your hands up overhead. Palms come together. And then exhale down. Bringing the palms to heart center. And then opening to each side on the inhale. And then closing the hands together on the exhale. I should say bringing the hands together. And then inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up one more time. Exhale down. Inhale open. Exhale close. Inhale up. And exhale down. And we'll do a little bit of a flow, twisting from side to side. So let's again bring our hands up overhead. Bring our palms together. And then twisting our torso to the left, bringing the right hand down on the left knee. The left hand comes right behind the hips, twisting our torso to the left. And then sweeping our hands up again. Sweeping them up and over to the right. Left hand comes down on the right knee. Right hand comes down behind the hips. Sending that torso twisting to the right. And then we'll do that a few more times. So sweeping up, we'll do a nice even flow, hopefully. And then coming down. The exhale, inhale up. Twisting over to the other side, exhale down. Inhale up. Twisting over to the left, exhale down. Twisting or lifting up. Twisting over to the right, exhale down. And then return to center. We're going to roll down on our back, so you can choose whichever way you'd like to roll down. And once you've landed, you bring your knees to your chest and just give them a nice hug, waking up your spine. Maybe do a little rock and roll, waking up all the chakras from the tail on up to the top of the head. Then send your feet down to the bottom of the mat. And we'll take the right foot, take the sole of the right foot, running it up on the inner part of the left leg till it reaches the knee and creates that figure four. And then we'll lift the right foot up and land it on the left leg just above the kneecap. Reclined pigeon pose, having that nice figure four again, opening your right knee, pointing it to the right side of the mat. And then we're going to lift the left leg up, interlace our fingers behind the left thigh, point both toes up to the sky, and then gently guide that left leg toward your chest. And just finding that sweet spot where it's between effort and relaxation. Be a little tension, you might want to breathe into that, see if it'll loosen up a little bit. And then we'll place the left foot down on the mat, sliding it all the way down to the bottom of the mat, keeping the right foot on top of the leg. And then guiding the left, or the right knee rather, to the left side of the mat. Keeping both shoulders nice and snug in the mat so that you can create that gentle spinal twist. Your right arm can be either in a bowl pose or alongside you, something to support you in that twist. Then we'll take that right knee and bring it to the chest. Give it a nice hug. And take our fingers and walk down our right leg till we reach the foot. And grab your foot on both sides. Right hand on one side, left hand on the other side. And then this will be up to you. See how far up you want to go that's comfortable. But we send the sole of the right foot up to the sky. And then walk the hands down the right leg till it reaches the back of the thigh, and then interlace your fingers right behind that right thigh. Point the toes up to the sky and straighten out that leg. And if your left leg, it can either be down on the mat, or if it's more comfortable for you, you can bend the knee and have the foot on the mat. Either one. So point the right toe up to the sky and then flex it so the sole of the foot is reaching up to the sky. And then point again with your toes and flex your foot and point your foot and then flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, and flex. And then we'll bring that foot down to the mat, back to reclined mountain pose. And we'll slide the left sole of the foot up the inner part of the right leg till it reaches the knee, and your legs create that figure 4. Just pause here for a moment. And then lifting your left leg up, placing it on top of the right leg just above the knee. And we'll pause and get your legs acclimated to that. And then we'll lift the right leg up in a 90-degree angle. Both toes are flexed and pointing up to the sky. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh and gently guide your right thigh toward your chest. Just again, go to that sweet spot of effort relaxation. Breathing in, kind of release any tension that might feel. Be feeling in your legs or your hips. And then place the right foot down on the mat, sliding it all the way down to the bottom of the mat. And taking the left knee and guiding that over to the right side of the mat. Keeping your shoulders nice and snug in the mat. Create that nice gentle twist in your spine. Then bring the left knee to your chest, interlacing your fingers, kind of give it a nice hug against your chest. And then we're going to walk those fingers down to the foot and have a hand on each side of the foot. I have it right around the ball of my foot. And then I'm going to send the sole of the foot up to the sky. And then walk my hands down the leg to the back of the thigh, interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. And pointing the toe up to the sky And then flexing, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. One last point, and then flex, and then bring both knees to your chest and give them a nice hug. Rock back and forth again. And then we'll bring both knees to one side, your favorite side, and then gently make your way back up to a seated position. And then we'll make our way onto our hands and knees into tabletop. Wrists are right below the shoulders, knees right below the hips, navel's tucked to the spine, creating a nice flat back. And gently pushing down into our hands to create that space between the shoulders and the ears. And our weight is nicely distributed equally in each hand. And then we're going to take our nose and turn it to the right, sending our gaze to the right, and then sending our gaze back down and then over to the left. And then back down again, over to the right. You feel maybe a little bit of tension in your neck. Just gently relax as you turn it from side to side. See if you can loosen up any tension. And as you go from side to side, just create a nice even flow. And then once your head's back to center, we'll go into cat-cows. So we'll round our back on the exhale, going into cat pose. Head, front of the head and the tailbone will go down. Spine stretching nice and long. And then on the inhale, we'll lift our head up, sending our gaze straight ahead. Tailbone goes up for cow. And then again, dropping the head, dropping the tailbone, stretching out that spine for cat. Inhaling, coming up for cow. And then exhaling for cat again. You just kind of go slowly, stretching as you go. Go back and forth from cat to cow for a few moments. Go at your own pace with nice deep breaths. Then we'll come back to tabletop, bringing our knees together so that they're touching and keeping that equal distribution of weight in our hands. We're going to lift our right leg up so it's about hip height. And keeping our hands on the mat, we're going to take the heel of the right foot and bring it toward our hips. So just kind of bending our leg and then sending the foot back out, keeping toes pointed, and then bending the knee, sending the heel toward the hip, and then point the toes, sending it to the bottom of the mat again, and then back and forth a few times. Just kind of look at the distribution of your weight in your hands I feel myself shifting a little bit to one side. Try to keep even. And one last time. Now we'll bring the knee down. We'll do that on the other side. So sending the left leg up to hip height. Trying to maintain an equal distribution of weight in the hands. Sending the heel toward the hip. And then pointing the toes, straightening out the leg. Send the heel to the hip. And sending the foot down toward the bottom of the mat. Send the heel to the hip. And then foot down to the bottom. And one last time, heel toward the hip. And then straightening out the leg and bringing it down to the mat. Then we'll walk our hands back and bring our hips to our ankles. So we're in hero's pose. We'll just interlace our fingers behind our back, relaxing the shoulders, and just gently guide those fingertips down toward the mat. You may reach your toes before they hit the mat. That's fine, whichever comes first. Then gently bringing the interlaced fingers up toward your waist. And then sending them back down toward the mat. Kind of easing your shoulders back gently. Opening up your chest, opening up your heart. And then bringing the hands back up toward the waist. And one last time, guiding the fingers down toward the mat. Really opening up your chest, rolling your shoulders back. And then releasing your fingers, we'll come back to tabletop. And this time, tuck your toes under and walk your hands back. And we'll come into a squat and then push down, come up into the mountain pose. So bringing your toes in line with a straight line of your mat. We'll lift the toes up off the mat, spreading them apart as far as they can go, and then back down to the mat, lifting the heels up, and then bringing the heels back down, really feeling that grounding sensation, that connection to the earth, having the earth supporting you, that coming together of one. And then we'll sweep our hands up. Oh, oops, I forgot the essentials of good posture. I go through that. So legs are nice and straight and strong. A little flex in the knees. Navel's tucked to the spine. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Spine in the back of the neck and nice, straight, and tall. Crown of the head's reaching to the sky. And now we can sweep our hands up overhead with a big inhale. And then send our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. Hands come to the mat. And bring your hands to the shins, flattening out the back, sending the gaze straight down, half forward fold. And then sending the crown of the head down to the mat. And just let gravity take over here for a moment. Let your hands just dangle. Feel the effects of gravity taking over. And then we'll sweep our hands up and overhead. As we come up overhead, we'll come up onto our tippy toes. And then slowly lowering our hands. We're going to slowly lower our heels as well. Reconnecting with the mat. We'll do that a few more times. Sweeping the arms up. And as they come up, we'll come up onto our tippy toes. And then slowly bring the hands back down. Slowly bring the heels back down. And one more time, sweeping the hands up overhead. Coming up, up, up onto the tippy toes. Staying here for a moment. And then slowly coming back down. We bring the hands all the way back down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. Inhaling, bringing our hands to our shins, nice half forward fold, flat back, gaze is going straight down. And then sending the crown of our head down toward the mat. And inhaling, sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. And palms come together. And then we'll come into a supported side stretch. So bringing the right hand down to the right thigh, sliding it down toward your knee, tilting your torso over to the right. And then coming with your hand back up, palms come together, and then on the left hand comes back down to the thigh, sliding that left hand down toward the knee, tilting the torso over to the left. Bringing the hand back up to rejoin the other one. We'll do that one more time on each side. Right hand comes down, sliding it down toward the knee. And bringing the hand back up, overhead. Left hand comes down, sliding it down toward your knee. And then bringing it back up. Palms come together. And then hands come back down to the mat. Bending your knees as you go. Palms come to your shins. Create a nice flat back for half forward fold. And then sending the crown of your head down toward the mat. And sweeping your hands all the way up again. Big inhale. Palms come together overhead. And then you bring your palms down to your heart center. And we're going to do a posture to prepare us for later on. And you can do it one of two ways. So first way, they're both going to start with just bringing your leg up in front of you and into a 90-degree angle and just finding the stability there. So part two is the one part where you can choose. You can either walk your hands down your foot to grab onto your foot and then slide your hand around to the inner part of your foot. So your hands kind of holding on to the ball of your foot and maybe big toe, and bringing your other hand, keeping it in the Anjali mudra at your chest will help stabilize. So end up with the knee bent. So the other way is just doing it kind of the express method, lifting your leg up. But I think it might kind of, because of the quick action, might throw you off balance. So yeah, at least for me it does. But you can try it and see which one works for you. So for me, kind of finding my calmness, walking my hand down, and then sending your gaze straight out, finding a drishti straight out. Anyway, we'll try the other side. Next side. So we're going to bring our hands overhead, bring the palms together to heart center. lifting the left leg up now. And then I'm going to walk my hands down my leg to my feet, grab my left foot with my left hand, and bring the right hand back to the Anjali mudra. And I work my fingers around my foot to the point where they're on the inner part of the foot, holding on to the ball and the big toe. Sending my gaze straight forward, finding the Tritaka across the room, the object that is still eyes, still mind, and hopefully still body. Alrighty, we can release from that. We'll sweep our hands up overhead again. Big inhale, sending them back down to the mat. And then hands come to the shins. And then sending the crown of the head down toward the mat on the exhale. And then sweeping our hands again with a big inhale, bringing them up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And palms come to the back of the hips. Our feet are about hip width apart. Palms are on the back of the hips, fingertips pointing down. Shoulders are nice and relaxed and soft. Tucking your chin toward your chest, and you drop the shoulders back till you find that sweet spot between effort and relaxation. And you can determine that by your breath, seeing how your breath is flowing. And then we'll come back up to mountain pose. Love that. Bringing it down. So from mountain pose, we're going to sweep our hands up overhead again. Big inhale. And then bringing them all the way down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. We're going to plant our hands into the mat and then step our feet back. Not too far, we're going to come into downward dog. So in this downward dog, usually we pedal, and I tend to pedal pretty fast. We do a really slow-mo downward dog pedal today. And try to bring the heels all the way down to the mat as you pedal. Just slow it down. Maybe synchronize your breath with the steps. Inhale, exhale, inhale. That'd be really slow. Yeah, I need to even slow it down further and equalize my breath. And then you're going to take that right knee and bring it to the right elbow, pushing off with the left toes, and then send it back to downward dog again. And slowly pedal out. The right knee again comes to the elbow, and then back to downward dog, and slowly pedal out. Then we'll take the right foot and bring it up between two hands. So bending your knees, guiding your foot up, coming into runner's lunge, where your knee is right over your ankle. You really feel the alignment of runner's lunge here. Heels, the back heels pushing toward the back of the mat. Legs are feeling nice and strong, and we're going to come up to high lunge. So sweeping our hands all the way up, all the way to the sky. And then bringing our hands down and around to the back of us. We're going to send our heart forward like we're soaring like a bird. And then sending our hands back down to the mat. We'll take the right foot and have it join the left foot, coming into plank pose. And slowly lowering to the mat, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, keeping your elbows tucked to the side. And when you've landed, slide your fingers forward to the top of the mat, and we'll come into Sphinx pose. So the elbows are right below the shoulders. Hands are nice and snug in the mat. Tops of the feet are nice and snug in the mat. And energize all through. Take a few deep breaths here. Then we're going to take our left hand, bring it over to the right wrist. And our elbow is going to go to the side, making our forearm parallel with the mat, top of the mat. And then we're going to bring our head down to that arm, the left arm, resting our forehead on it. And we'll do two things here. We're going to either take the heel and bring it back toward the hip. You can just do that on its own. And the other option is swinging your right hand around, grabbing the inner part again of your foot, and sending the elbow of your right arm up toward the sky. And that's called a half frog. And now, stretch out the tops of your thighs there a little bit. Either one. And then release that. Come back to Sphinx. And then draw your hands underneath your shoulders. And we'll lift our chin and chest up, gently pressing into our hands, coming into Cobra. And then continue pushing up to tabletop, and then drop your hips down to your heels, coming into extended child pose. And then we'll come back up to tabletop. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up to the sky. Again, slowly walk your dog around. Good downward dog. Then we'll slowly walk our feet, taking really small baby steps up the mat, till they reach our hands and we're in forward fold. And then sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And we're going to take the right foot and slide it up the inner part of our left leg just to the point where it reaches the calf. And that's all for tree pose today. We're just kind of focusing on the stability and the stillness that we can achieve. Our gaze is straight forward, finding the Tritaka across the room, something stable. And you can stay here or you can join me in coming into dancer pose. So we're going to take the right leg, bring it into a chair or 90-degree angle, walk my hands down it, grabbing, supposedly grabbing the right foot, finding my stability. So my half Anjali mudra is keeping me balanced. I got my gaze. I can't talk and walk at the same time today. I got my gaze steady. And then I'm going to extend my left hand out and push into my right foot is pushing into my right hand. And coming into dancer pose. For a minute. We'll try the other side. So, worked a lot better in practice. Oh well. So, release and we'll work on the other side. So again, sweeping our hands up overhead. Palms come together. And then palms come all the way down to the mat. Planting our hands in the mat, we're going to send our feet back somewhat, coming into downward dog. And then we'll just slowly walk our feet, creating a nice slow rhythm. And then we'll bring the left knee to the left elbow, pushing off of the right toes. And then back again to downward dog. Slowly walking our dog today. Bringing the heel as close to the mat as you can. Stretching out the backs of your legs. And then bringing the left knee again to the left elbow. And then back again to downward dog. And slowly walking the dog. Then I'm going to take that left foot and bring it up between the hands. So bending the knee, sending the foot forward, coming into runner's lunge. We're really feeling the strength of runner's lunge today before we sweep up into high lunge. Just kind of maybe bring your hands off the mat. Just make sure that you are in good alignment. And then when you're ready, sweep your hands all the way up to the sky for high lunge. And then sweeping your hands down, around to the back, Sending your heart forward, soaring through the air like a bird. And then bringing your hands back down to the mat. And sending the left foot back, join the right foot, coming into plank pose. And slowly lowering down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And once you've landed, sending your fingertips forward, coming into Sphinx pose. Elbows are right below your shoulders. Tops of your feet are nice and snug in the mat. Now we'll take the right hand, bring it to the left wrist, sending the right elbow up and creating that forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Then bringing the forehead down to that arm. You can have two options here again. Either bringing your heel to your hip, and just kind of back and forth with that. Or if you want, you can reach around, bringing your left hand to your left foot, taking a hold of the toes, sending the elbow up to the sky. And then releasing that. Coming back to Sphinx pose. And bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows tucked to the side, lifting the chin and chest up, gently pressing down with the hands, coming into cobra. And then continue pushing down, coming up to tabletop, and then taking your hips and bringing them back to your ankles, come into extended child's pose. And then back to tabletop. Tucking your toes under, we'll lift our hips up to the sky, coming into downward dog for the last time. And we'll just slowly pedal out here. And then slowly walking, taking baby steps as you go, walking your feet up to your hands till you come into a forward fold. And then sweeping your hands all the way up, bringing them overhead. Palms come together and palms come to heart center. And we'll do tree pose on this side. So sliding your left sole of your foot up the inner part of your right leg, just to the calf, and finding the stability and stillness here in tree pose. Finding your Jataka, your focus point across the room. And then again, if you'd like to join me in going into dancer pose, you're more than welcome. So to do that, I'm going to bring my leg forward again, walk my hands down with my left hand, wrapping it around my left foot. Keeping the right hand in the Anjali mudra position. And then extending the right hand forward, pushing down into the left toes into my left hand, extending my left foot up to the sky. And then release. Well done. Bring the toes to the edge of the mat, sending our hips down toward the mat, coming into a wide-legged squat. And then bringing our seat down to the mat. And we'll roll down. I'm going to use the express method, tucking my hands under my knees and just rolling back. And once I've landed, I'm going to wrap my hands around the knees, give the knees a nice hug, and just kind of rock back and forth. Give the lower back a massage. And one last time, to walk my hands up, my legs to my feet, grabbing the outer edges and coming into happy baby. And I'll continue that rocking, massaging the whole spine. And then we'll bring the knees back to the chest again. Send the arms out at shoulder height, creating a T, and go into reclined twist. So lower the knees to the right. And once they've landed, sending the gaze over to your left fingertips. And then gently bringing your head back to center, bringing your legs back to center. We'll drop the knees over to the left side. And when they've landed, slowly turning your gaze to look at your right fingertips. And slowly turning your head back to center, bringing your legs back to center. You can extend your feet down to the bottom of the mat and sending it into each corner and prepare for Shavasana. Just relaxing your whole body, bones and muscles into the mat, taking a few deep inhales, and then releasing the exhale and releasing your body into the mat. And the poem I have for you today is by Danna Faulds. And it's titled, Experience This Moment as It Is. Throw off the bonds of your conditioning and fear and celebrate the wonder of being here. Experience this moment as it is, connected by breath and essence to the whole. You couldn't be separate if you tried. Live this day as if the earth exhales blessings in your direction, as if trees speak their deepest secrets in your ear, as if bird songs can lift you outside your ordinary state of mind and bring you into truth. Be the creative juice flowing through the universe. Be compassion in action and wholeness in motion. Be silence and stillness. The ocean of love so palpable that not one cell of you disputes the truth that you are that.